Luri Margut. A lady balanced on a spider's web. Forward. The Dowager Countess of Stanford, Lady Victoria, needed at least 2 days to mentally prepare herself for travel. She could not get used to the rattling of the train. Worse, the station was crowded with people of all kinds, even though she had 2 personal carriages. These were hitched to the head of the train and, noblesse oblige, she had to prepare like a queen to make the walk across the platform. Not that she cared about people's opinions, but there were always reporters crouching everywhere. And given the current situation, her demeanor had to be elegant and carefree. If it weren't for the time savings and her age, she would have preferred to travel on horseback, an improbable fantasy that generated in her, on the one hand, the feeling of impotence for having grown old without feeling old and, on the other hand, slavery to the social rules that forced her to maintain a dignity that was half hers and half imposture. The Bristol mansion was the most comfortable of all the residences owned by the county, including the owner in London, which lacked no detail. Even that dreadful railroad had other advantages for the Dowager Countess, otherwise she would never have built such a luxurious dwelling there. Among those advantages was the possibility of conducting certain business that elsewhere would have been very complicated for a woman with an aristocratic title. It was imperative that both conversations be shared immediately with her children, so she wired them to be waiting at the London mansion and sent to pick her up at the railroad station. The luggage was pailed in the hall just an hour before the departure of the 2 gentlemen who had decided to visit her that morning. Lady Victoria was left alone with her Latin-waiting, Lady Sorrento, a title and name by which she christened the young lady she picked up on the streets of Italy on the first trip she made with her husband. The rest of the maids took their seats in 3rd class. At a gesture from the Countess, Lady Sorrento took out 2 elongated opium-smoking pipes and loaded them with great efficiency, lit them and passed the more elegant owner to the lady. They began to smoke and, within a few minutes, they were both beyond caring, making me forget the rattling and the sound of metal against metal. They closed the carriage curtains and were plunged into the gloom of the carriage. You'll have to find out everything you can about these gentlemen. I've been caught in a net and I need to find the knife that will cut the trap and their throats at the same time. I'm not a flea, she said, trying to sound angry in that state that was a combination of different types of moods. It's an elephant, Lady Sorrento replied with an absolutely inappropriate giggle. The widow raised her eyebrow, or at least that's what she thought she was doing, her eyes moving upward trying to raise it. In the end she desisted. Why an elephant? Lady Sorrento began to sing aloud a nursery hymn from her native land. An elephant was swinging on a spider's web, saying that it did fall. They went to call another elephant. 2 elephants were swinging on a spider's web, saying that they did fall. They went to call another elephant. She was sure, but it was almost certainly elephant number 42 when she asked him to stop. There was a moment of silence as if both of them had actually become dizzy with the swaying of the elephants. We have to look for some advantage, said the Dowager Countess, who seemed to have recovered from her stupor. I can take advantage of the circumstances and act in my own way. I don't want any more dead on my conscience. For now, we must behave without arousing suspicion. It will be difficult to convince me children, but they will understand that there is no other option. The biggest problem is the hair, commented the lady in waiting. On the contrary, he will throw a tantrum like a 5-year-old, but he will give in. The others are too stubborn and have lived their lives with a freedom that will be difficult to curtail, so we will have to convince them by the facts. I would like to know what you are really thinking. At the moment I don't know myself, she said, smiling spontaneously, probably as a result of the opium. She took a deep puff from the pipe and, as she exhaled the smoke, a light mist formed around her. Both remained with those strange smiles until a few miles before they reached London. Chapter 8. At the mansion, the Earl of Stanford, Lord James Sinclair, was dressed with such neatness that he looked as if he would soon be attending one of the high society parties. His slender, but not too slender, body was perfect for the fashion of the time, with a tight waist and an exaggerated breadth of shoulders. Her blonde hair, which she had let grow past the nape of her neck without going completely past her neck, was curly thanks to the curling irons her valet used daily. With her blue eyes of a very light shade, she could easily pass for a lady, since, like them, she wore makeup discreetly and subtly. He was with his 2 brothers. They all knew each other well enough not to show surprise at any action taken by either of them. The Viscount of Aston, Lord Michael Sinclair, the next in line to succeed to the title, wore a tailored suit, but without pretension. The most remarkable thing about his appearance was the watch he kept in his vest pocket, the gold chain of which ended in a click that clipped to the top pocket of his jacket. He was the Golden Bachelor, dark, with cobalt eyes and an athletic body, but his position was not only due to his appearance, but also because everyone suspected that he would be the Count, given the ambiguous and carefree character of his older brother, a reason why since he took care of all the Count's affairs. The last brother, Lord Gabriel, was more like his older brother in appearance, but the smile that spread from his lips to his eyes warned that he was a person of a mischievous nature. Being thereto born, his destiny was tied to the church. His mother tried to persuade him to become a vicar in an affluent area, but preferred to be an assistant to the Archbishop of Paul's, which allowed him to be in London and thus close to all the daily or forbidden amusements of the city. For him, there was little difference between the two. Who has committed the infamy? Asked Michael. Despite his seriousness, there was a touch of humor in his words. His 2 brothers looked at each other. Both had some dark secrets, figuratively speaking, and neither was able to answer. They shrugged, hoping that the uncovered infamy was the work of the other and not their own. Why could it be some mistake of yours? Asked Gabriel. I always behave properly and I am always busy touring the properties, just work, there is no mess that I could have closet. Are you a virgin? His younger brother joked. What ladies have you been dating lately? He replied wearily. I never go out with ladies, they are dangerous, they all want to get married. And you, have you had any compromising relationships? He asked his older brother. He shrugged his shoulders and from his expression it could be yes or no. At that moment, his mother arrived as they were being served the second bottle of brandy. She gestured to the servant, wo poured her a glass. He stopped when the glass was half full, but she motioned for him to continue, so he filled it to the brim. Don't let anyone disturb us, he ordered the servant before he left. When he closed the door behind him, he looked at his eldest son with a stern expression. Everyone knew who the infamous man was. The vicar sat in relief as Michael frowned. If his older brother was in trouble, it called cause a major crisis in the title. The dowager countess sat down and drank half a glass of brandy in one gulp, which made her cough and wrinkle her face in utter disgust. For this infamous liquid alone they were against friends is justified, he commented as he rose to pour himself a new glass full of sherry. He took a sip, sipped and sat down again in front of his sons, his blue eyes penetrating those of his eldest son. "I have been blackmailed twice in one day," she said, looking at each in turn, "and unfortunately we have to accept the blackmailer's conditions." "I'm sorry they involved you," she said to Michael. "What have I got to do with all this? You are an innocent victim, so you have my full support and sympathy." "Who has dared to blackmail you?" asked the Count. "Who has ever had a lover with gambling debts?" she answered, and the Count turned pale. "Did he ask you for money?" "Worse, he has asked a moneylender for money and, when he could not pay it, he revealed your secret so that he could claim the debt from you. But he doesn't want money, the secret is worth more than the amount owed." "What does he want?" asked the firstborn. "Love your brother, consider the secret and the solution worth a marriage to a member of our family." "With me?" asked Michael. "That's right. Everyone knows Gabriel's libertine reputation, so this own was discarded immediately by the blackmailer has spat the last word as if it were a tangled hair on his tongue. "You talked about two blackmailers," asked Gabriel. "Should I get married too?" "Nobody loves you, unfortunately," his mother told him. He smiled between amused and satisfied. "Can you tell what happened in a coherent way?" Michael asked. "Let's start in order," he said as he took another sip from his glass. "First, I was visited by Mir Monroe, who holds Lord Robert Melgar's debt. After telling me with little delicacy the nature of your relationship, he looked at his eldest son. He told me that he had the man locked up until he paid off the debt. He did not want money, but for Michael to marry his sister, an old maid of 25. Once that happens, he will send the debtor on a merchant ship to another continent to avoid, at least by this route, scandal and criminal prosecution." Of course, I had to agree. Michael nodded resignedly. "The second blackmailer?" asked Gabriel. "Lord Frederick Murray has a document proving the existence of a secret daughter of the Earl of Stanford. What do you want?" "By her silence, she wants the Count for her daughter." He drank again and smiled, "and since she shall bear her penance." "I don't think that's possible," said the Count. "It will have to be. Consummation or not is your choice, marriage is not. Marrying my older brother might cause dissatisfaction in the bride," said Gabriel. "I can be civil in keeping the family blood in the title. He wants the title and the money. Whether his daughter is happy or not, I don't think it's a priority for him. Anyway, for the moment, I don't want an illegitimate child of the Count, even if he is your son." "I can't get married," protested the Count, his face unhinged. "You will get married, it is another way to silence any possible indiscretion from him or other lovers you have had or may have. But no objections. The Count's wedding must be held with all possible pomp, so it will be held on March 15 next year, a few weeks before the season begins. Gabriel's wedding will take place with a special license as soon as he gets it. The dowager Countess finished her drink, cleared her throat elegantly, stood up and before leaving said to them, I hope that tomorrow they will make the formal request for marriage. Only Gabriel was smiling, even when his mother looked at him sternly. He was happy to have come out of that double crisis unscathed. I'm sorry I got you involved in me problems, said the Count to his brother Michael. Sooner or later, someone was going to take advantage of your guidance. You promised to be discreet. How could you get involved with someone like Lord Robert? Love or passion made me foolish. He needed money and he provided it without asking questions. He never thought he would turn to others and endanger himself. From now on you will have to be more careful, Gabriel told him. From now on, I will be celibate. I can't imagine such a life. Just be more discreet, said Gabriel solemnly. They finished the brandy in silence. They had to prepare to save the family and their reputation, each in their own way. The idea of marriage was unbearable for the Earl. He fell asleep in the early hours of the morning, while Lord Michael assumed his fate as he did so many other things in life. He was aware that he would have to marry, but he would not make it easy for the creeping spinster. The dowager Countess took one of her pipes to her eldest son's room. He was in the fetal position, as if he had been physically assaulted, and that posture relieved the pain of the blows. Here, she handed him the pipe. He took it in surprise. If you do it moderately, there is no danger. It will keep you calm so you can think. You must bear the engagement. I won't let you marry into a family like that. Do you trust me? He nodded. Sleep and don't be distressed before your time. Then she went to the studio, where she knew her son Michael would be. When she entered, he greeted her with folded arms. They seized each other up through their very similar looks. Are you upset? Not yet. What are you up to? I had traveling by train, but if there is one thing I hate with all my being, it's someone forcing me to do something I don't want to do, and if they threaten me and I have to take the train, my resentment is irreversible. Will you share your plans with me? All in due time. And Gabriel. Seeing that the subject was none of his business, he slipped away. Perhaps I should find him a wife, a Scotswoman who can dominate him properly. I doubt that anyone could accomplish such a feat. He's lucky I have more pressing matters to deal with, but I'll take care of him later. Do I really have to marry an upstart? The marriage will be annulled as soon as the matter is settled. I have it all figured out. She will go from being a lady to a weasel who will not be able to leave her burrow. And if, unfortunately, they have offspring, I hope it will be a girl who can keep her mother company. I'd rather not have to get married. What's the rush? Well, the loan shark is pretty shrewd. It's hard to know which way he'll go if he suspects any deception. Those who mess with me don't usually tell. Let them still see me as a sweet, slightly clueless matron, touch or advantage. Tomorrow I will go to ask for the lady's hand. Will you accompany me? No, I'll have to accompany your brother to do the same, or I won't be able to. I understand that he does like women, but I don't know why he's so afraid of them.